The first thing I heard that morning was her voice, sharp, trembling, almost unrecognizable. "Apologize," she shouted, slamming her hand against the kitchen counter. "Apologize to him right now?" I froze, the coffee mug trembling in my grip. Apologize to who? Her eyes were wild, dark circles underlined by fury and fear. "To my ex. You think you know me, but you don't. Just do it." It felt surreal, like I had stumbled into some alternate reality. The woman I had married, the woman I thought I knew, was commanding me to grovel to the man who once broke her heart. And somehow I obeyed. By mid-afternoon, I found myself standing on the cracked sidewalk outside a small cafe where she said he would be waiting. My chest felt heavy, like it had been packed with bricks. I rehearsed my lines silently: apology, understanding, closure. But as soon as I saw him, the rehearsed words dissolved. He was nothing like I expected. Not the brash, arrogant figure from her stories. He was quiet, almost fragile, sitting with a coffee, his hands wrapped around the mug as if it were a lifeline. And then he looked up. "You must be her husband," he said, voice low, wary. "I wasn't expecting you to come." I nodded, my throat dry. She told me to apologize. I don't really understand why. He studied me for a long moment, and I felt exposed under his gaze. Then he sighed. "Maybe you shouldn't. But if you're here, I guess you want the truth." My heart thumped. Truth. That word carried more weight than I was prepared to bear. He leaned in slightly. "She didn't tell you, did she?" "Tell me what?" I asked cautiously, though my gut screamed that I was about to hear the kind of thing no husband ever wants to know. "That she's been seeing someone else. For a long time." The words hit like a bullet. My stomach lurched. I gripped the edge of the table. What do you mean?" He didn't look away. "Not me. Not me personally. Someone else. Someone she works with. Someone she spends her nights texting instead of being home." I wasn't supposed to know. But she didn't realize how careless she's been. I felt the world tilt. My mind tried to catch up, scrambling for explanations, for denials, for anything that might make sense. But the truth was unrelenting. I had spent years building a life with her. The home, the kids, the Sunday mornings drinking coffee together and planning vacations. And all the while, she had been weaving another life right under my nose. I don't understand," I whispered. "Why tell me this?" "Because you should know. She's clever but not flawless. I wasn't looking for this, I just overheard something, saw a message by accident. I couldn't keep it from you once I realized what it meant." The cafe felt suffocating. I pressed my palms against my face and exhaled slowly, trying to steady myself, trying to remind myself that this wasn't real. But every word, every look, every confession landed like a hammer on glass, shattering the fragile illusion I had held of my marriage. "I trusted her," I said finally, voice cracking. "I trusted her with everything." He nodded. "I know. That's why I didn't say anything for months. I wanted her to stay happy, or at least appear happy. But you deserve to know." I leaned back, staring at the ceiling, at the peeling paint and the faint scent of burnt coffee. Memories of late-night talks, gentle touches, promises whispered in the dark. All of it felt tainted now. And beneath it all, a gnawing rage that was mingled with grief, confusion, and heartbreak. "She never wanted you to know," he added quietly. She always wanted to control the narrative. "You never suspected, did you?" I shook my head. "No. I thought we were fine. I thought she loved me." "Love is complicated," he said, his voice soft but firm. "Sometimes it isn't enough to keep people honest. Sometimes it isn't enough to keep people faithful." I nodded, trying to absorb it, trying to reconcile the woman I married with the woman who could deceive so effortlessly. And then the quiet realization hit me. The betrayal wasn't just physical or emotional. It was the erosion of trust itself. That invisible thread that had tied us together had frayed, almost imperceptibly, until it snapped entirely. By the time I walked back home, the streets were empty, the sky bruised with early evening clouds. I didn't know what I would say to her, if anything. The idea of confrontation both terrified me and oddly empowered me. I wanted answers. I wanted clarity. I wanted to see if there was anything left worth salvaging. She was waiting the moment I stepped through the door. Her face was pale, a mask of guilt poorly concealed by anger. You went to him," she said, voice tight. You listened to him? I didn't respond at first. I just stared at her, the weight of knowledge settling in my chest like stones. Yes, I said finally. I went. And I know everything. Her eyes widened then narrowed. What, how? I know about the texts, the nights away, the lies, I said, each word measured, each syllable a quiet thunder. I know about the person you've been seeing behind my back. I know that you never intended for me to find out. And I can't undo it. The room felt smaller, as if the walls themselves were pressing in, holding us captive in this moment of betrayal. She opened her mouth, tried to speak, but no sound came. For the first time, the power had shifted. The secrets were no longer hers alone. They had been torn from her, exposed to the light, and they stung. I realized then that love wasn't enough to protect us from deception. That trust, once broken, left a vacuum that no apology or excuse could fill. I didn't know what the future held, divorce, separation, rebuilding, but I knew one thing. I could no longer live in a lie. And as I walked away that night, the house echoing with her silence, I felt something strange and heavy at the same time. Liberation. Heartbreak, yes. Rage, yes. But also the first flicker of clarity that I could no longer be imprisoned by someone else's deception. The truth was raw, painful, devastating, but it was mine now. And for the first time in months, maybe years, I felt like I could breathe again. Help me hit 5K subscribers.